had good subscriber growth, about 16%. We now just have over 160 million subscribers. From a revenue growth point of view, we're also satisfied in the sense that there was a lot of pricing competition in our key markets that impacted the price per minute quite significantly. And then from an overall margin point of view, we are satisfied at 44.9% EBITDA margin. So the business clearly performed reasonably well. We did have a shortfall in terms of what we had planned from a capex point of view, but that was due to difficulties that we experienced in the first half of 2011, which were overcome as we moved into the second half of the year. So out of a total budget of about 22 billion, we ended up spending about 17 billion rand.
When you look at your South African operations, subscriber numbers increased by around 17% to 22 million customers. That was mainly driven by prepaid customers, now sitting at 18.2 million customers overall in the prepaid space. How does that impact the type of product you bring to the market? The
prepaid market segment has been a very good segment for growth for us, and also we've had very good offerings and very competitive offerings. So how it impacts on the businesses as a whole is that we have to get much stronger and much more localized distribution, specifically airtime products, and then from an offering point of view continuously remain competitive in terms of our offerings.
A quarter of your overall subscriber numbers are now in Nigeria, so of course MTN very geared to that market. It has been a period of tough price competition. MTN has lost market share, now sitting at around 50%. Are you comfortable that it's stabilized at this level?
Look, we're quite satisfied with the 50% market share in a strong player market. We have strong competitors, and to maintain a market share of 50% is I think good performance. Yes, we are satisfied with the 50%, and it is our intention to maintain that 50% market share.
Tensions in Syria have escalated quite quickly. You've got subscriber numbers sitting at 5.7 million customers. It increased by 16.7% during the period. Do you believe that MTN's business, though, is materially at risk when it comes to your operations in Syria right now?
Look, the overall environment is impacting our business. I mean, obviously, we're not seeing the kind of growth that we'd have liked to see. We are concerned specifically in terms of the security of our own staff, and also in terms of ensuring that the assets are protected. So it's a reality of what is happening there now. We monitor it on a day-to-day basis, and we hope that it will come to a conclusion sooner than later.
Your Iranian operations did very well, in fact, during the period, with revenues increasing by around 20% in constant currency terms. What is MTN's response now, though, to those who are calling for MTN to take a stand against the Iranian government and perhaps withdraw from the country?
Our belief is that, the presence and the ability to communicate is now a basic human right. And I think even if you look at what's happened in North Africa during the Arab Spring, telecommunications played a very important part in the ability of those citizens to do what they did. Now, it is in a way a liberating force, if you want to call it that. So pulling out of Iran, I don't believe, is the right thing to do in terms of what is important for the citizens of Iran. I think the need for communication and the need for them to have access to communication services is very important. And also I think the issue is that we are guided significantly by the position the South African government takes, and also the United Nations. So yes, we will not break sanctions laws that are applied by the EU or the US. We will make sure that we remain on the right side of those laws.
Data revenue, of course, continues to grow and profit margins very attractive in this area. You saw 30% growth during the period, albeit off a low base. How do you plan to take advantage of the growth that you're seeing in the data space right now?
Look, the first thing that we're doing is we're making sure that we invest and get the capacity to drive data, and then secondly, making sure that we get devices in the markets that will help drive data traffic, and then thirdly, make sure that we have services that people would be interested in making use of, and then also communicating and promoting those services effectively in the different markets. And then finally, we always need to make sure that we remain competitive.
You're planning on adding 20 million subscribers this year, and that, of course, on top of the 164 million subscribers that you already have. Where do you see the most growth this year?
We're looking at growing primarily in Nigeria, Iran, South Africa. Those are the main contributors of our growth. And then also getting significant growth in operations such as Ghana, Uganda, Ivory Coast and Cameroon.